Martial arts, I have been training martial arts since I was 4 years old. I'm 50. And was 14 years old, started doing jiu-jitsu. And never stopped. When I moved to the United States is the capital of the world. I knew that's going to be big. I know that the MMA part of it would be as big as it is right now, but it's definitely, I knew it was going to be big.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
But if you do anything embarrassing, I'll edit it out.
No,
Don't worry.
I won't do anything. I'm so passionate about this sport. It changed my life so much. You know, I would definitely be dead if it weren't for jiu-jitsu, because I was living a very fast and very hard life, and a lot of MMA guys do. Ricardo Laborio has been amazing to me. I mean, I've studied that guy for so many years. You know, winning the first, you know, Jiu-Jitsu World Championships as a black belt. If you guys don't know that story, the brief is he lost to a guy at super heavyweight in a tournament previous to that. So he entered the World Championships as a super heavyweight, weighing 184 pounds or whatever, because he wanted to get exact revenge on this guy that had beaten him. And that's how the old school Carlson Gracie guys are. They were just real smash mouth, like, you beat me, I'm going to keep going until I beat you. And he cleaned the division and won the world title at super heavyweight. You know, and he was voted most technical guy in the whole tournament. And after I learned that, I was like, whoa, I got it. You know, and so for years and years, from afar, like I've been watching, you know, whatever, and then, you know, to become American Top Team and have him just like welcome me like real family, like it's crazy, introduce me to his family, like it really just is something amazing that's going on at ATT.
Now, American Top Team itself, you know, with the boom of MMA, the reality shows and everything else, we got caught up in the right time, at the right place, and we grew a lot. American Top Team is the largest MMA team in the world.
American Top Team is known for mixed martial arts worldwide. I don't know, there's 15 world champions that are American Top Team instructors worldwide. I'm like, but people don't realize that. You know, they give us the MMA thing, but in reality, our jiu-jitsu is very solid.
And we have a very good composition team from BJJ, not as organized in BJJ as we are in MMA, because our efforts went to the MMA, but I'm changing that. Now that I moved to Orlando, I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do, and I'm going to go back to BJJ. Effort and work and put all your chips in something and just get the target and keep going. That's what it is. We have done it before, we're going to do it again.
I always tell people, you know, this is a fight factory, not a belt factory. And if you want a soft blue belt, don't come here, because it's not going to happen. You know, if you want to learn how to fight or you want to learn how to win jiu-jitsu tournaments, this is where you need to be. If you're worried about this more than this, you won't like it here.
I think the jiu-jitsu competition is separating so much right now that it's fading away a little bit of the self-defense part. What does that mean? That means that you have to be able to defend yourself on the street, and you cannot just do butt scooping.
Bear and bowl on concrete, right? See how that works out for you.
There are a lot of sport jiu-jitsu practitioners that, in my opinion, couldn't hold their own in a fight. You know, and where did it come from originally? It was self-defense. So, I mean, I don't know if that's true to the original thing. What I teach here as far as no-gi is positional purely for fighting. You know, I don't care about points at that point. My goal is to get you in a position where I can hold you down and punish you, and that's what we teach.
People are so anxious to learn to do a flying armbar, an inverted, you know, a De La Hiva, or, you know, a Baron Bowl or whatever, that they bypass and overlook basic fundamentals.
Self-defense, you know, positions in their curriculum, you know. You have to learn this to be a black belt. Nowadays, not necessarily. You know what I'm saying? And I think you have to go back a little bit, just a little bit, to understand that it is a necessity to learn reality.
Old school means, hey, you know, we go back to the basics, we go back to the fundamentals, we understand how the grind works, right? I think there's a difference in old school training versus old school technique or an old school school. training techniques have adapted, and obviously rest and recovery and nutrition and supplementation and all those types of things are really important. Our whole understanding and concept of the universe is changing, just like our understanding and concept of human dynamics, our understanding of human concepts as they apply to jiu-jitsu. And so I think you're just going to continue to see an evolution of the game.
We all stay true to, old school jiu-jitsu, old school MMA. You can't argue with victory, right? That's what it comes down to.
Come on, 10 seconds, let's go! Push! Time! Get up, off your knees, off your butts.
People are a product of their environments. The guys that I grew up training with and the guys that I learned jiu-jitsu from are old school. I mean, those are the guys that are old school. But I think old school means basic fundamentals. It means hard work. It means a grind. And while you can learn techniques and drilling and you can learn techniques and doing almost anything, technically, until you apply them live, it's a big difference.
Somebody provoke a situation that you have to defend yourself. That's self-defense. You got to do it. Fighting, you choose. Self-defense, you have to. Period, like that.
Purple belt used to be the black belt. When you got to purple belt in jiu-jitsu, you were basically a black belt in any other martial art. You'd put in basically that amount of time, and truthfully, my money's on any good purple belt versus any karate black belt in Florida. The dilution of the art is happening, and I think a lot of these fast promoters don't realize that they're putting more and more black belts out there and they learned what it takes in their eyes to be a black belt is what they were given a black belt, and then therefore they open a school and do the same, and before you know it, now there's 7,500 black belts in the world when there was 15 American black belts in not that long ago.
Don't think that you're a black belt just because you're doing great in competition. Yeah. There's way more to learn in jiu-jitsu than just that. Yeah. Like I said before, for me, a package for black belt is one that you have awareness of the technique. You have to know the techniques, but you have to know the history of the sport, and you have to know, you have to have character. You have to find out what is the philosophy of the sport. Where do you think the sport should be going? What kind of philosophy that's behind to implement in the new generation of people that are coming over here and to change their life, to improve their life, to improve the sport, in itself. You have to pass it on. You got to spread out the knowledge. That's where you're going to be actually making the sport grow.
I do think jiu-jitsu is for everyone. I don't think it's for certain mindsets. That's the difference. I think any person, obviously there are limitations. Heck, I saw a guy who had CP that could barely use his leg. I refereed him winning 2 matches, okay? So if someone with limited physical ability can put the work in and get it done, anyone can.
How many times do you see somebody that is not as good of a fighter but wants to fight more win? You cannot underestimate human willpower. Human willpower, is just it's the intangible. And so when we throw that willpower in, all right, well, maybe we're hoping to train that willpower a little bit in an old school. We're helping to train people that, hey, listen, yeah, you might not be as good now, but as I always say, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And this is a marathon, not a sprint.
Well, yeah, what do they always say? A black belt is a white belt who never quit, right? I heard that and I just kept sticking around. Eventually, they have to give it to me, right? It's, I wait long enough. If I could switch to any team in the world, train for free, be with anybody, I wouldn't go anywhere. I would stay with ATT for life. No doubt about it.
If you're looking to train mixed martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and you're in the Brevard County area, come see American Top Team of Rockledge. We're the only school in Brevard with 3 black belts. We got a 4,000 square foot facility, maybe even a larger facility pretty soon here. I personally have affiliates in Kissimmee and Valdosta, Georgia, and come train with us, give it a shot. I think you'll like it, and I think you won't be disappointed.